James Ernest, Gruel and Truth Radio Network, here with MMA legend Dan the Beast Severn. Dan, what have you been up to recently?
James, how much time do we have? I mean, there's just an open question like that. I could go on hours of all the various things that I do. Let me summarize it like this. If variety is the spice of life, well, James, I am the spiciest person you'll ever meet. Because I do have a great wide variety in what I do. The most rewarding aspects to me is the fact that I like teaching. That is my world. To walk onto a mat is my magic. So it's my happy spot. I walk on there, and especially if it's a group I don't even know. Because of whoever is hosting it, they're like, "Well, Dan, you want me to do it?" They're next to me. I go, "No, I'll handle it all." I just go and tell them this. I'll just say, "Hi, I'm Dan Severn. So I'll be your guest instructor here tonight, and let's go." And then, but as the seminar progresses on, I want to win them over with content and knowledge. And then as the seminar goes on, I'll say, I'll take a minute break here, and then I'll tell them a little story here. And we keep on going and tell them another story here, or where this technique came from, and where it was derived from, or a match it might have came from. And of course, for a couple hours, I mean, I've won them over easily at that point in time. And then I go, well, okay, guys, we're kind of at the kind of close in for some Q&A and stuff like this. And then, they'll ask me a couple good questions, and I go, well, let me just put it like this. Probably the only guy in the world that has over 100 state, national, or international titles and or records to their credit. There's not a single other living human being or deceased human being that's even close to me. I think the closest person I have, I'll say 25 is 35, and I've got over 100. I go, but I'm not done. And I go, but I never strive to achieve this or that. I mean, I found what people had put on themselves as limitations and what the heights were, and I came back and I beat them, and then I came back to set them to what my standards were, and at whatever age I was at the time, that I set it really for my standards, because I've achieved success on both sides of the spectrum at a very young age, 18 years of age. Just what I did in my high school career will probably never be repeated. And then to add from there on into what I did on an international basis, freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling, then jumping into the wacky role of professional wrestling in '92, and then by '94 jumping in the cage fight world, first no holds barred, that transitioned to the world of mixed martial arts that we know it all as to today. That being on the other side of the mountain, I'm on the tail side of starting a cage fight career at 37, being WWF's oldest rookie ever at 48 years of age. And then instead of the parameters, I said I'd fight till roughly 58. Well, I did that. And then it's like, well, and then I said at the same time, I'll go just for a couple more years. I'll do it in the professional. So, well, I am at 60 years of age. It's kind of going, well, I shouldn't have opened up a big mouth, because, am I going to honor that, or am I going to push it back for another couple of years? Because it's kind of sad when I walk into a locker room and I'm in better shape than three-quarters of that locker room. Wow, that doesn't say much for that locker room.
I know what you mean. The young people aren't, I don't know, there's something about it nowadays where they're not, one, you're in great shape at your age, or just in general, you're in great shape. But you're right. I mean, it is a shame that not everybody's as intense and dedicated to the craft. Now, you mentioned the coaching and the teaching. Are you talking about, because you mentioned you do a wide variety of, from everything from professional wrestling to amateur wrestling to MMA and everything in between. What type of things have you been coaching and teaching mostly?
Well, officially, I worked at both Arizona State and Michigan State as a wrestling coach. That's my first love. was a very large, heavy set man. At roughly 5'8", he weighed probably 350 pounds. So he was built like a butterball turkey. Now, I mean that as a term of endearment. He just physically could not get out there and show you how to do technique, but he recognized technique in the wrestling room. So if you were the best guy, James, with the double leg, you taught a double leg attack, and the other guy was really good at the high crotch farmer's carry. He taught that. Well, Severn, he went to wrestling camp. Well, what did you learn? Well, Coach, I learned this thing called cradles. Well, teaches cradles. Well, one hand goes here, another hand goes there. You push your hand like this. But what does every child ask you? They ask you the question of why. Why did my hand go here? Why did my head go there? And when I could answer that question in my mind, that's where my career took off. During that I'll say that in between that freshman and sophomore year, my career really started to take off for me to where I understood the why factor, and I was doing things more and more in a deliberate type of a fashion. I didn't look at other people as human bodies. I was looking at them as fulcrums and levers and how to create the most leverage with the least amount of effort. And that's what actually carried on throughout my career. And then by my freshman year in college, now I went to college. I always tell people I went to college for all the wrong reasons. I was a very successful high school wrestler, and now I wanted to see how I was going to do at a D1 collegiate program, Division wrestling program, and I did just fine. I mean, my freshman year I was 34-0, 24 pins, 10-5 out of 6 state place finishers before a knee injury sidelined me, and at 18 years of age, I'm sitting down in front of an orthopedic surgeon, and he's telling me, you will never wrestle again. He goes, you will probably never even walk right again because of what you did to your knee. Well, obviously, I defied those odds, and I've gone through him and 3 other additional orthopedic surgeons, and basically all of their opinions are like, you should be able to do what you're doing. And my last orthopedic surgeon, he actually had both my X-rays up on his wall, autographs, stuff like this. And, I mean, he was a big fan and stuff like that. Also, myself, he says, you're like an anomaly. He goes, you don't have either one of your anterior cruciate ligaments. He goes, you got bone chips, bone spurs, you got arthritis, advanced arthritis. He goes, these points of one black spot. He goes, hell, I don't even know what that spot is. And he goes, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. I'm showing where I'm just wiggling my knees around, going back around. I go, but look at me now. I'm rocking and I'm rolling. He's like going, he goes, the only thing I can figure out is, he goes, maybe one day when your musculature atrophies or not. I go, hold it right there, Doc. So you're saying I curse in life if I must work out for the rest of my life? I go, I will take that curse because I need a motivated factor that will keep me going to the gym, and you gave it to me right there. So there's this, I do have a proverbial optimistic outlook in life. I've had, like anyone else, I've had some crappy things happen in my life, but it's how you deal with this adversity, it's how you deal with this loss, it's how you deal with people. Do you let that get you down? Do you let them get you down? Or do you just shake them off? I try not to associate with a lot of negative people in general. Even as I'm speaking to you, I do have different sayings that even surround me. And I'm a big believer in you can actually sort of brainwash yourself or persuade yourself into a better position by, I don't care, call it prayer, call it just repeating phrases yourself, but I'm a big believer in the attitude aspect that it changes a lot of different things for an individual throughout their entire life. I think their attitude and the way, and just being active, both mind and body. Most people only deal with their mind because they use their mind. They numb it with the boob tube. They numb it with the internet. They just numb it because they're not interacting. They're not interacting with people. And in a lot of ways, again, I go from different tangents. We've become a very isolated society because we have all this stuff that we can do. Post our own selfies. I mean, when people post and send me pictures of them, of what they're eating, I'm not going, do you really think I care what you're eating? The answer there is, no, I don't. You must have an awfully bored life if you have to post what you're eating. Unless you have like a cool bowl of ice cream right now. I mean, it's a hot night. I could go for something kind of cool, whether it's to drink or to eat.
I know what you mean, especially this time of year. Yeah, I was going to say that's always a nice thing. A shake, a malt, a sundae, something nice like that would always be a good thing. When I was talking about your coaching and your training, I mean, like recently, have you been doing like seminars, law enforcement training, colleges?
Again, I'll do both. I mean, when I look at what I just did, I'll say the last 2 weekends. This past weekend, I was in Washington, D.C. on a Friday. I flew there Thursday night. I think unless sometime Thursday afternoon or something like that. I drove in Thursday night, and I was there all day Friday. It was a martial arts Hall of Fame banquet. I think it's called the Who's Who of the Martial Arts World Hall of Fame, and I was there for that event. I was being inducted into that Hall of Fame. On top of, I was there to do an autograph signing. I was there to do a seminar, and then that all took place on Friday. So, but on Saturday morning, I took off and drove over to Maryland, to Sykesville, Maryland. And by the afternoon, I'm stepping on yet a different mat. And I'm doing a combination of more submission grappling and, both gi and some non-gi applications of what I'm doing there. And, when that's done, I traveled over to Pennsylvania, and I was there for several days doing other things. The weekend before that, I'm in Waterloo. I drove to Waterloo, Iowa. I was involved in the amateur wrestling, professional wrestling Hall of Fame. It's like 3 different Hall of Fames, all in Waterloo, Iowa. It's known as the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum. And so it has a wing for amateur wrestling, it has a wing for professional wrestling, and then there's another wing just for Iowa. And I was actually the first person ever to be inducted on 3 different occasions so far for that Hall of Fame. And literally, as the guy knows me so well. I said, I might be the only 3-timer, but I go, I see 2 other categories that I'll be qualified for here shortly. So he made the notation. He goes, Dan's our first triple time UFC Hall of Famer inductee, and he goes, he's already planning on this 4th time. Well, it might take me a couple more years, but expect me back because life. People don't get it. Life is competition. It's not all about rewards, plaques, belts, or whatever have you. But life is competition. We compete for the best jobs. We compete for the best significant others. If some of us are different, bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I look at it. I go, life is competition. And that's how I view it. Each head, and everyone's got, you have your 24 hours a day, same way I do. Just depends on how you spend yours and how do I spend mine.
Makes a lot of sense. So with the different seminars and the Hall of Fames, probably about the only one left to put you in would be the rock and roll one up in Cleveland?
Well, trust me, the only time they want me to sing or whatever would be at the closing time of a bar, and that's just to scare the patrons out, that's all.
Excellent. I was going to say, I know you've in the past been in movies and TV shows. Have you had any recent appearances or anything in the bookings?
Well, I've had 2 or 3 different individuals representing different movies have approached me. But it's something I've never really gone out to pursue. But I think I've been in at least a dozen or more movies. I I've been in, I think, 3 or 4 different zombie movies along, but more or less playing roles of being something either military or some type of policeman. I mean, I have that certain look about military, law enforcement. I've got that look. I've got the ugly blue-eyed chin and the mustache. Probably one of the best movies I think I ever was in was the movie called Rudy, and that was based upon Notre Dame football. An actual true story about Rudy. I think you pronounce his last name Rudiger.
Mm-hmm.
Basically a very small physique of an athlete, and that was trying to overcome insurmountable odds and actually play on the Notre Dame on the Notre Dame team. So I mean, that was cool because for probably about 2.5 months of my life, I practically lived up in South Bend, Indiana, shooting film almost 7 days a week.
That must have been a great experience. I mean, especially that hollowed ground, the venue, up there at Notre Dame. I mean, what an experience.
Well, it was. I mean, and all the crowd scenes were actually shot at actual home games. So, I mean, literally, as soon as the teams, Notre Dame played, whoever they were, as soon as they would break for halftime, there's like a quick announcement, okay, folks, we're shooting the film Rudy, and we need some crowd reaction scenes here right now, as they got Georgia Tech squad is taking the field, and then the Rudy Notre Dame squad is now taking the field, so they just had, it was kind of funny because I was dressed in a Georgia Tech outfit at one point in time, running out onto the field, and here I'm in another uniform, running out there as a Notre Dame squad, and then shooting different. So I mean, everything had to be done quickly because you only have a half hour for intermission, stuff like that. Actually, for halftime.
After that, we're on Nash Bridges. I was going to say, I know a lot of people have compared you to Chuck Norris and just your overwhelming prowess. Same with him, and just your legendary accomplishments. Do you feel that that's accurate? About him.
Well, I always thought it was because Chuck. I think that's a pretty funny comparison. Since who would win, Chuck Norris's beard or Dan Severn's mustache? I went, oh, come on now. Chuck Norris's beard, of course, because he's got the beard and the mustache going with him. I go, he outnumbers me. I go, but I think it's great just to be involved in some of those type of comparisons. I've had some of my younger mugshots and stuff like this. I was always compared to a young Magnum PI and stuff like that. So Tom Selleck, and as I got older, I mean, well, there's some, I guess, I think some similarities there still, but it's kind of like, it's kind of just cool that people associate you with somebody else in a process. I mean, I keep thinking, oh, maybe I should really try to find myself a real agent that actually knows what they're doing and go after this market a little bit more. I mean, I think I could be doing some commercials. I think I could be doing some additional film work because I've been a professional wrestler since 1992. What is professional wrestling? Professional wrestling is taking on a role, taking on a demeanor, whether you're going to be a bad guy, a good guy, whatever, but also reactions of when something doesn't go right or does go right for you. So, I feel like I've got enough experience there alone that I could be my own stunt person and or to be an actor as well. Many professional wrestlers have done well for themselves in the film industry. Probably the best notable is The Rock.
Oh, definitely, yeah. He is. I mean, shoot, it was crazy earlier this year. I was at the movie theater, and he was in 2 or 3 movies at one time. I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah. No, there was, I think, for a couple of years running there, I mean, the guy had to be definitely known as the hardest working man in the film industry because you name every flick they kept coming out, the Rock to this one, the Rock to that one. It was, he's definitely very multifaceted.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, both him and Cena have been in so many movies of late. It's ridiculous. I know a lot of other wrestlers over the years, Marcus Bagwell, Roddy Piper, and different ones like that as well. Any of the wrestlers that you've worked with in movies and in the ring?
Movies and in the ring. Well, I mean, Al Snow. Now, Al Snow, I helped him get into the movie Rudy. I mean, in the movie Rudy, it's all on there is just like a film extra. But they just needed guys that look like if you put a shoulder pad and a helmet on, they look like football players. Well, again, I played football in high school. I wanted to play football in college. Actually, I love football more than wrestling. But the thing that turned me off about football is in my high school career, we as a team kept losing football games, and I knew that I was doing everything within my power. Anything that's within a normal range of me, I'm either going to tackle it or I'm going to block it, and we're still losing games because other people are not putting forth that 100% effort. And it just really kind of turned me off about football, and I chose about my senior year because I did have a number of football scholarships to go out, but I chose the sport of wrestling because I controlled my entire destiny. The definition of amateur wrestling, it's a team sport based upon individual competitions. The team can lose, and I can still win, and I like that.
With football, were you a defensive end, linebacker? What position?
All of the above. I mean, literally by my junior and senior year, I basically was that rover that I could just run up there and grab people, and I'd shove them over to a different spot, and I would take their spot because, younger back then, because I did not play freshman football, I was told from my freshman, I went right to JV, and then my sophomore year, I went right to varsity. So I played 3 straight years of varsity. My freshman year, I was pulled up to JV, and I'm there with my older brother. And then my older brother and I, we were like a 2-man wrecking machine. Because I was always up in front of him. I'd blow a hole through any spot in the line for him, and he'd be making the tackle to the point that football teams were calling audibles as to whatever side we were on, and even the coach gave. So basically, it was really my brother gave him because he'd been older, and he was more or less playing that linebacker type of situation. He gave my brother the option of grabbing me and pulling me on any side that he wanted me. So we'd be flip-flop from the left side to the right side, but going in from anywhere I'd run anywhere from nose guard to guard tackle to end, and then my brother would be playing off because he should be knows I'm going to take out whatever in front of me. And then he's got a clear path to get to the running back or to the quarterback. And like I said, we were so good, we actually had negative yardage. And yardage said that team wouldn't ever score on us would be whatever. If they ran to the opposite side, they stood a chance. But even then, we were hot pursuit of them. So, but once like I said, by my senior year, my older brother, he's no longer with me, and I'm a one-man wrecking machine. You can only do so much.
So where did the brother end up going off and playing?
Oh, I mean, he was. I'm very fortunate that I have a total of 7 other brothers and sisters. I'm second on the totem pole. So all 5 males, I use this as an analogy even in education, but all 5 males went off to college. Went to college on full athletic scholarships for the sport of wrestling. And I always point this out. Wrestling is much like gymnastics, is much like swimming. There's not a true profession such as football, basketball, baseball, and in some states, hockey, that you get, there's the opportunity going on to play professional level sports. So gymnasts, swimmers, and wrestlers, when you graduate from college, you actually have to graduate with tangible skills because once your career comes to an end there, it's pretty much come to an end, and now you have to go and do something else for the rest of your life. So, I mean, and on the flip side, I have 3 younger sisters. They went to college on basically full academic scholarships. So, first off, the running joke between the siblings is the sisters would be saying to the males, "'Tis better to have brains or bones." And then our rebuttal would be, "Well, bronze beats brains out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, touche. So I mean, but it's to me, it was always, it just to say that kind of stuff. But I always tell people, I'm a jock with a brain.
Yeah,
and so I had the best of both worlds, to where I'm not going to destroy my body in the process of doing it, such as like an MMA career. I mean, to have stayed in athletics for as many decades as I have, to have done as many amateur wrestling matches, professional wrestling matches, freestyle wrestling matches, Greco-Roman wrestling matches, judo, sambo, tough man contest, no holds barred, the mixed martial arts. I mean, literally, I have probably 3,000+, maybe it's more like 4,000+. I don't know. I could guesstimate, but I would say it's got to be ranged somewhere in that range. And I have not that many losses, period. First off, I don't like losing. On the surface, I'll seem calm about it, but again, that's part of the poker face. I'm not going to act like a child out there, throw tantrum or nothing like that. But, inside, I have a hard time. I'm struggling with that aspect. We probably wouldn't even be talking right now, James, had it not been for something that had happened in my life that stirred that spirit on. I was going to retire from athletics altogether as of 1984. But things didn't go quite the way I had hoped it to be, so I had to continue on. Again, that's 84. People always say, man, you were really great when you're at your peak. I go, you never saw me at my peak. I said, you saw a 37-year-old guy climb into a cage in 1994. I was a professional wrestler as of 1992 Olympics. And then, a lot of people think that I was a fighter first, then went to professionals. I'm an open trainer. No, just the opposite. As of 92 Olympics, I was a professional wrestler first on the independent scene, working with Al Snow and Denny Cass and a few others, getting out in the Body Slammers gym in Lima, Ohio. And then, by 94, this crazy thing, that the whole bar fighting with the Ultimate Fighting Championships came about, and I jumped in that, had a dual career. I mean, it was crazy how many different things I was doing in the course of just 1 month, to the point that when I would wake up in the morning, as I'm rubbing the sleep out of my eyes, I'd have to look around and figure out, where am I at? Because wake up in some hotel, and where am I at? And what is my function today? Am I a professional wrestler? Am I a cage fighter? Am I walking on the mat to teach amateur wrestling to kids? Am I walking on a mat to teach amateur wrestling to collegiate wrestlers, freestyle wrestlers, Greco-Roman wrestlers? Am I doing a submission grappling class? Am I working with first responders? Am I working with law enforcement, corrections, air marshal, border patrol, military? So it was to say, again, as I start off the interview, if variety is the spice of life, I am the spiciest person you will ever meet. I never put my eggs in one basket. And again, sure, I've had adversity in my life. Do you let it beat you? Or do you help it? Or do you let it help to inspire you on to more magnificent heights than you ever imagined?
Do you feel the emergence of MMA has given wrestlers kind of a second life, a professional career path or option?
Yes and no. Yes, for the sheer fact, when you look at, if you look at the top 10 competitors per weight class, and what is their original background, you're going to see 7 or 8 of those individuals that were wrestlers. Not just a guy that sit on the bench over there. No, I'm talking about someone that was a high caliber wrestler, whether it's freestyle, collegiately. Greco-Roman, I think, has got one of the best abilities that you should be utilizing for mixed martial arts. Um, but with that high-level wrestler, there comes a work ethic and a mindset equal to none. Again, that's going to be my really biased opinion because that's the world I come from, and I can speak on behalf, and I'm proud to be known as that guy that brought the recognition to wrestling. You know, when and UFC number 4 was my first one ever. And as I'm there on that Friday night, it wasn't a weigh-in because there was no weight classes. It was basically a press conference to where whoever the mediator was at that point in time, you'd have 4 fighters on one side, 4 fighters on the other side. It was an 8-man tournament. And then you'd have the MC be up there, doing it, whatever, the 1.2, wherever we're located at, and tomorrow night's extravaganza taking place at whatever, Colorado Springs, at a height of whatever, 7,000 feet elevation. Elevation is going to be a factor. So these are the 8 participants, and they'd be like, contestant number 1, White Spacey, Beast Dan up there, White Spacey stands it tall, and he weighs this much, and his background is a distance or whatever, and then he'd sit down, and the next person would share about, height, weight, and whether not that weight, some of that mattered because there was no weight. Then they would pull out basically a bingo ball machine. And there'd be 8 balls in there, and these 8 balls actually had names on them. So you spin around, and when the first ball would spin, and come on out, you had the 8-man bracket, that person would be put at the number 1 slot. Then spin the machine again, and the number 2 ball will come out. Okay, the first match will be Hoist Fish versus Ken Shamrock. Like, you now know less than 24 hours before your match, you finally know who your first opponent is going to be. And like not only is it that way is it the first time you know who your first opponent is going to be. It's the first time on that fight that you even know who the other 7 men were, because there were no women competing at this time. It was just 8 men. The women's portion, I think, was about 2004, 3 or 4, I think, is when women finally came on the scene of doing mixed martial arts. Dana White had to eat his words there because he said there will never be a go. No, don't say that. People said that about boxing. People said that about all types of things. Women's sports might be a little bit further behind than what the men are, but women participate in all sports. There's women football leagues and the whole football leagues, baseball leagues. They've got all their own sporting events. When Title IX came into effect back in the I think the mid '80s, all sports were on a collegiate level was to allow females the same advantages that males had. But I went off on a couple of different tangents there. I did, but I think I answered your question somewhat thoroughly, maybe abstractly.
Yeah, I was going to say that first one that you were in, UFC 4, Revenge of the Warriors, you known for that great suplexes that you did on Anthony. I always forget Anthony's last name. I want to say Mesa.
Macias. Anthony Macias.
Yeah.
His name was Anthony Macias. Yes.
So those suplexes, do you feel that was more from your amateur background or more from your professional background?
No. Honestly, from my amateur background, I mean, when I walked into my very first UFC, I was more or less a last-minute fill-in. By the time they contacted me, told me I was in, I've always kept a rather busy schedule, and I agreed that I could come on in, but based upon the schedule I had, I was only able to do a 5-day training camp. My 5 days, again, going back then, there weren't any mixed martial arts or no-holds-barred gyms located, period. This is all during the pioneering age of no-holds-barred. So guys trained wherever they could. I mean, the closest thing I could come to a cage was driving from Coldwater, Michigan over to Lima, Ohio, to Al Snow's Barney Sanders gym, and training inside of a professional wrestling ring. basically, it was a combined area of about 18 feet by 18 feet. That's all we had at that time. So I mean, it looked something like a boxing ring, but it was actually a professional wrestling ring. And between Al Snow and two other professional wrestling proteges, they had one old pair of boxing gloves between them. So one guy would put on the boxing gloves and he would try to punch and kick and do whatever submissions he could. And basically, I never wore the gloves, but I never threw any punches. I just parried strikes that they did, and when it would go into clinches and takedowns, or jam them up against the ropes and then take them down against the ropes, and I would simply slap on amateur wrestling moves and simply just turn amateur wrestling moves into illegal moves, and that was my submission. So when I always tell people I never trained a legitimate punch, I never trained a legitimate submission. When I showed up to the UFC, again, they're asking me my height, my weight, where do I live, hail from, and stuff like that. And then this is the first time I've ever asked this question. They're like, well, what's your martial art? Well, I've never been asked that question before. I simply looked at the person and I go, well, I'm an American wrestler. And they looked really kind of inquisitive, well, because they had never heard that reply before. And they kind of leaned in and kind of like asked me kind of low tone. They're like, what exactly does that do? And I kind of leaned right into them. I go, I really don't know. I go, you might want to watch. I'm simply making this up as I go. And literally, they laughed at me, but I go, literally, that's what I was doing, because I didn't train how to fight. All I was doing was simply staying outside of what they were doing for punching and kicking, and then just clinching them, not allowing them to punch and kick, taking them down, and just slapping on amateur schools. So literally, my very first match ever was with Anthony Macias. And, he had a Muay Thai background, something like this. I ate a lot of elbows from Anthony during the course of that match. But at some point in time, I ended up, around back behind him. And, he said, it was a pretty good elbow shot. And I'm like, man, he basically kind of pissed me off a little bit. And I'm thinking, I think, well, here, try this out for size. I hit him with the first suplex. He hit pretty hard. So, that's rather dense type of bad and flowing. And then, he stood right back up again. And he smacks me with yet another reverse elbow shot, catching me in the head again. I'm like, oh, son of a gun. I'm like, you think that last one hurt? Wait until you feel this one. And I folded him up pretty good the second time. But as we hit, I see him shaking his head off, but I'm seeing blood dripping down. I'm thinking, is that from him or is that from me? Because in the heat of the adrenaline, he could have split me wide open with one of these elbow shots, and I would have never known it because I'm riding on adrenaline dump in the process. And a lot of times you don't know about your injuries until you kind of come off that adrenaline high. And all I knew was that when I came back out of the match, I did not have a mark on me. I didn't have a cut like this. But then, I'd say that several days later, when I saw the replay of that, as they folded up so hard that it was his own knee that struck himself in the forehead, and he split his own forehead open. So wow. I always tell people in a comical manner, well, my very first match, I made quite the impression in the UFC octagon.
Yeah, I was going to say, with your big...
But on the side note, I come to know Anthony, and he's a great guy, and I've actually offered up, he has a son that is involved in amateur wrestling, and I've actually watched a couple of his matches, and I've offered up some coaching tips to him. So, it's like, I've become friends with different people that I've competed against. Again, I never had to create any kind of animosity there, James, towards an opponent. I could shake your hand before, and I can shake your hand after. I'll play by the rules, no matter how many or how few there are. But I do have a competitor spirit. I've never been in a fight in my entire life, but I have been a competitor my entire life. And there's a different mindset I've tried way how to beat you, given the rules that we're operating by. And probably most of the time trying to figure out the nicest way possible to beat you. And there's actually several matches I've been involved in where you can see me looking up at the referee like, why is this match continuing? This man cannot protect himself. I'm raining down on him, and this should be checkmate. But because of my opponent's pride, he's not going to tap out. And all I'm doing to him now is I'm giving him damage that will probably affect him for the rest of his life. It's going to affect his length of life. It's going to affect his overall quality of life. Because you're not meant to be hit in the head or even in the body with such blunt force trauma without repercussions.
With UFC 6, your big breakout and winning the tournament, what was that like? Going up against Paul Verlance and Tank Abbott?
But yeah, again, that was still that tournament. A lot of your listeners, I mean, they don't understand when I say stuff like no holds barred. The tournament format, literally, that's, I hate to say, but we don't live in a very educated society. They don't understand the history of things. And, as I said earlier on, the product that they watch today, mixed martial arts has 47 or 49 rules today. Mm-hmm. There's some bounds. They wear gloves. They know about, there's some of these shows that they've been set up for 4, 5, 6 months in advance. I'm about to show it now that I've been knowing about it for about the last, 6 or 8 months. To where it's like, guys have so much time to prepare, study, film on their opponents and things of that nature. So I mean, the times have changed because the technology has all changed there as well. Cell phones and all the internet advantage of watching film did not exist. All of the Sure Dogs, the Full Contact Fighter, all these different websites that give you all the data on these different fighters, they did not exist way back then at the beginning of the host bar era. They didn't come into conformity until, I think, 2, 3, 4 years after the fact that it started, and they only really followed one company, and that's the UFC. And then, then they started adding more and more and more. So, again, I just try to educate your public there just a little bit about what this is all about. I guess the proverbial teacher in me is to educate people and to understand why.
So it sounds like it's dramatically changed over the years from what originally you were a part of, like you said, no holds bars or very limited rules, to now, like you said, there's 47 plus rules that they have to abide by. So it's dramatically different.
Yep. So again, I don't know what question was before I went off to that tangent there. I guess
that's okay. I was gonna say it was interesting. That's the important thing. As long as there's a good answer. It doesn't even have to be my question. Sometimes your answers are better than the question it was originally.
Well, I tend to go off into tangents, but at the same token, a lot of people they need a little bit more of a foundation to understand where does your answer come from. As I said before, I've never been in a fight my entire life. But I've been a competitor my entire life. Most people are never going to understand what's the difference. There's a huge difference in the mentality of being a sportsman. Mm-hmm. But at the same token, I have my international wrestling experience gave me such an upper hand in walking into the octagon because I was used to going to a lot of third world countries, or should say better yet, going to a lot of countries that did not like the United States because of the propaganda their own countries were spewing out to the masses. I was international experience in 1976. First to the country of Turkey. And again, I learned also well what the word propaganda means, how other countries use it, how our own country uses it itself. And that's where, when you see all these people posting things about, the sheeples of this world and stuff like this, because, it all depends on what news station you're watching as to how, a news writer right now can slant a story any way that they want to paint it in the manner that they want. So it kind of say like, be educated. You might want to look at a couple of the different stations, stuff like that, and then draw your own conclusions, knowing that they all have their own agendas in the first place. But again, we can take that for a different time. Get into politics and religion are two things they say not to get into, but I always look like this way, that James. I'm a brutally blunt and honest individual. My enemies may not like me, but they will respect what comes out of my mouth, because I don't bullshit people and I don't lie to people. You may not like what comes out, but you can take it to the bank most of the time. I'm a rather blunt and to the point type of person, because I don't want to waste your time. More importantly, I don't want to waste my time with you. So that's why I'm like, I tell people, not everyone's cup of tea. I'm an acquired taste. But rest assured, if you ask me for an honest opinion, are you ready for it?
And that's why it's good that you're spokesman for the product that you currently are, because like you said, the honesty factor is very huge in a product like last time we spoke. You were telling us a little bit about that, about the oil.
Well, yeah, but the CBD oil, that's for for shipment. I work for all these different first responders. I have a 10,000 square foot canvas right on my property in Coldwater, Michigan. I spent time between Arizona and Michigan, just not at the right time of the year. I can't tell people can't say that I'm a snowbird by any means, because I'm usually in Michigan in wintertime and I'm out in Arizona in summertime. Here basically probably next 8 days I will be heading right back to Arizona again, but more likely I'll be spending more time in the state of California, because one of my newest adventures is in the CBD oil world. CBD oil being the medical component of medical marijuana. It doesn't have that THC strength of the hallucinogens or the getting high factor. I think the most basic CBD, I think, has a 0.3, if I remember correctly. People may want to be correct to me, but I think it's a very, very low content, because it's I think the best extraction is from a CO2 extracting machine, and that's involved in a manufacturing facility up in Willits, California. Willits, California being kind of like dead center of the Emerald Triangle. Emerald Triangle just means it's where the best marijuana is grown in the United States. Now, if you would have asked me this basically probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, I probably could never cited you any of this stuff, but I educated myself. And once again, if they say that, pot doesn't affect you, well, I'm afraid to say I will call bullshit on that. It does affect you. I've been up to Willits, California. I have met a number of growers, and these individuals have been smoking just a little too much of their own product. By no means am I having an intellectual conversation. I am simply having a conversation with someone that likes to get high. Again, if that's your cup of tea, I equate smoking marijuana as the same way as drinking alcohol. Stay home, smoke up. Stay home, drink up. Don't get behind the wheel of an automobile and be driving while drinking or smoking, because now you're just called stupid. And someone else could get hurt because of your stupidity. So that's how I kind of equate both of those things right there. And the last time I checked, I have never heard of someone smoking a joint, running off, grabbing a semi-automatic weapon, and shooting up the world. They usually go and they will raid someone's icebox and maybe eat pizza while mellowing out in front of watching, some goofy cartoon and television for the colors. So again, I'm looking for the more lighter, comical side of the aspect right there. So, but I do offer up. It's a temporary website that we have up right now. It's called. It's if you want to go to it, it's www.level5, the number 5, level5customprocessing.com. So again, www.level5. That's the number 5, customprocessing.com. It's a long domain name, but and I even asked the gentleman that first came up with this name, and because there's only 5 levels of processing, where they are able to extract the different components from the marijuana plant. So I mean that's stuff that I've learned about it. But the unique thing about this website, I believe there's like I'll say 25 to 30 some different ailments and or diseases that are on this website, and then they have all the various studies, how the effect of CBD, marijuana, other various marijuana type products on, like I said, all these things from arthritis, bursitis to seizures to diabetic neuropathy conditions to heart conditions to types of cancers. I mean, and the list goes on. So there's a lot of valuable information, and that's why I tell people, don't believe me. I mean, do a little studying. Go to this website and Google a few other things, because that's where all this information came from in the first place. I'm very fortunate that I have 4 of the gentlemen as partners, and we're all nerds. And I throw myself right in the back. We're all a bunch of nerds because it was the very first licensed and permitted manufacturing facility in all of Manzanito County. Now that's hard to believe that, and this was less than probably less than 3 months ago that we ended up getting that permit and licensing. What does that say about the rest of that county? If we're the first.
Yeah, it's.
And then as of July 1st, this year, of July 1st of this year, we were the very first licensed and permitted manufacturing facility in the entire state of California. What does that say about the rest of the state? How many people does that say that are running in the illegal aid? And if we're the first one, and we're a bunch of nerds that simply started working on this manufacturing facility, I'd say a little over about a year plus to find some real estate, to slowly start to develop this real estate, put in all the stuff working, and electrical and stuff like this, and then learning that, okay, if we're going to be doing both hemp-based products and cannabis-based products, we have 2 different sides of, and there are so many things that we learn, and we learned the hard way in the process, but we learned them, and we did them. And now all 5 of us are users of the CBD oil for different reasons, and all of us got involved in this industry for the primary reason is we all have somebody or more than somebody in our immediate families, if not us as individuals, that could benefit health-wise from the CBD oil. And just like, and I'll speak for myself, some of the things that you already talked about, because it's an anti-inflam, it helps reduce just slowing and pain aspects of, aches and pains in your body. Oh, it's worked wonders for that. Not just yours truly, but, and other people that have tried the product. One of the partners has a neighbor. She's 83, 84 years of age. She has orthopedic, what is it, rheumatoid arthritis, where your hands have to fold on up and, disfigured knuckles and stuff like this. And, one of the partners basically had her try some of this balm and put on her hands, stuff like this. He goes, he sees her out in her garden the next day, and he hasn't seen her out in the garden in years. And he goes over to speak to her. She goes, "Oh," she says, "I put that balm on my hands." And she says, "I have not had this type of mobility in quite some time. I mean, just on my way back from traveling back from Arizona to Michigan, I made a stop in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I met a husband and wife team that looks like they're going to come on board as distributors of CBD. So I basically had hemp-based CBD because again, the cannabis-based CBD has to stay inside the state boundaries of California by law. Now again, how many of this stuff is not staying in the state of California? It's being shipped over state lines. But the rules say cannabis-based must stay inside the state. So that's where cannabis-based product stays. Hemp-based CBD is allowed to pass beyond state lines. So I mean, I travel with some hemp-based CBD. I stopped in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I talked to a husband and wife team. Then went over myself. I get left of a couple samples. I don't even make it back to Coldwater. I've got like another 12-hour drive. I don't even make it back to Coldwater yet. And I'll use the name Tom Anderson. I'll just, again, because it's protect people's names. I'll say Tom Anderson made me a phone call. He goes, "Dan," he goes, "I want you to speak to my dad." And before I even get a chance, I'd never met Tom's dad before. But he hands that up, and I'm like, "Well, hold there, Mr. Anderson. How are you doing this today?" And he's like, "Son," he goes, "I'm an old salty Marine from Arkansas." He said, "My son," "my son knows that I had this rheumatoid arthritis in my hand." He goes, "I've got a couple of these what's called trigger fingers, where you literally have to physically use your other hand to open up your hand, because you have a couple of appendages that won't even open on up." He says, "I put some of that balm on my hands." He says, "The left tendons." He goes, "I have more mobility than I have had the last couple of years." He goes, "God," says, "I told my son," he goes, "you get a hold of that young man, and you give me some more of that stuff," because it's good. So, hearing stories like this, I don't want to see people go on pain medication. That, a lot of your pain medication is opiate-based. And now you've got the addiction of opiate-based pain medication. I'm involved in two of the worst industries for pain: professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. Professional wrestling, the average contract for WWE, you wrestle 187 matches. Now, that's what I last do. It could be changed. It might be less than that. I don't know if it's more, but through the course of those matches, you're going to get hurt. And you have to continue moving on. So a lot of these athletes, they start taking pain medication. They start taking muscle relaxers. And they don't realize that they're getting hooked on to Oxycontin. They're getting hooked on to, there's a very, very addicting chemicals in a lot of these pain medications. So you get, you see where the use of CBD, again, if you go to this website, it's just an informational website. No one's out there trying to sell you anything. It's just trying to educate you until our other website actually is finished. And then there'll be a website where literally you can order products off and learn more about the actual products that we have. I'm going off into a couple of different tangents, James, but again, I should know that I will probably get some pot shots at me for this, that, whole dynamic, because I'm not explaining things in enough elaborate answers. But rest assured, Dan Severn is not going to get involved with something unless I know what I'm getting involved in, because my reputation means an awful lot to me. For me to simply walk away from professional wrestling, like a WWE type contract, because I cared enough to not want to have 666 put across my forehead, and to be become an Undertaker disciple. I could have been a heel, but I would not have been that kind of a heel because I already had a reputation and a skill set that brought me to that world. And I care enough about my reputation. I don't need money that bad. I'll walk away from that kind of stuff.
If they would have moved on past the 666 mark and just made you the third acolyte, would you have maybe done that?
I don't even know what you're talking about here right now, though, but I had my own ideas of what I could live with as a heel. I guess I would have thought that, having the fact that they had several men on their creative team, and you even have Jim Cornette that is pitching them ideas over and above them. Jim was actually more frustrated and very vocal about things because he was going to say, Dad, this creative team doesn't have a clue as to what to do with you. He goes, you're the greatest thing to ever hit professional wrestling. You're a wrestler who can wrestle. He goes, you're not going to sit up there and cut promos. He goes, that's not you. You're not going to sit up there and just flex. He goes, you should just go out there and just dismantle people. Don't care about that. Just walk out there. Don't even say nothing. Just dismantle people. And this was well before WCW existed at that time. WCW actually during the Attitude Era, WCW was kicking WWF's butt on a weekly basis in the ratings. I thought that was one of the best eras of being involved in professionals because Vince McMahon, the creative team, and the roster had to push themselves because they're losing week after week to WCW's ratings. And I think that was the best time to be involved because you had to strive to do better. But now that there's only one major player now, who do you have to rise up and be better than?
Exactly.
Can you rise up and be better than, or are you going to become stagnant and not as creative? You're not going to push yourself. Now again, the professional wrestling industry I'm just plucking some numbers out of the air. But let's say there's a million plus wannabe professional wrestlers. Mm-hmm. How many paying positions are there on the WWE's roster? I mean, when you look at the roster of wrestlers mm-hmm. that they have right now, how many of these guys are really making a truly professional level salary that they can walk away and retire on?
Probably not many.
Exactly. There aren't many. Yeah. A lot of these guys, they would probably be better off if they had just gone out and got themselves a job. And that job actually has insurance, health insurance, a dental plan, things of that nature, because, there's not dental plans, there's not eye programs. I mean, if something, if a horrendous accident should happen to you in a match, well, I think the WWE would take care of those medical plans bills, but for how long are they going to take care of those medical bills? So, but on the flip side, professional wrestling is the only industry I have ever been involved in. And maybe, correct me, James, if I'm wrong, it's the only industry I've ever been involved in where the company, at their own expense, will send you, the talent, to a rehab center on their dime to clean you back up, to put you back on that roster, and right back at the same salary. Not once, not twice, maybe up to 3 or more times. James, can you name me another industry in the world that would do such a thing?
Yeah, I agree. Can't think of too many. I mean, the only type.
No, okay, I can't think of another one. Period.
The only.
But then again, my reason I'm making this point is I can't believe that these guys would bite the hand that feeds them. Now, it seems that stand up for your rights, be a man, be a woman, stand up for your rights, stuff like that. But I don't get it. But then at the same token, I always tell people, I did not call WCW, they called me. I did not call WWF, they called me. So, a lot of people in the fight world thought that, well, I was just a sellout. I was a UFC fighter, and then I went to the WWF. Well, that's true. I did go that road there. But I was a professional wrestler first, as of 1992. And then the UFC didn't even exist until, I think, December 1993 was their first show ever. And I was involved with them from, 94 on. So I tell people, UFC number 4 was my first one, so I was a professional wrestler first, and I could probably say I am the very first guy ever, and the only guy ever to be able to, as a professional wrestler, to stand inside the octagon cage, holding up the NWA belt, a classic, historic NWA professional wrestling title belt, alongside with the current no holds barred UFC title belt. I'm the only guy that can say that right now, and that happened 22 years ago now, 23 years ago now. Not even Mr. Brock Lesnar can say that one.
I just have trouble believing. You mentioned about Cornette being upset or outspoken. I mean, Jim Cornette. That doesn't sound like him.
Come on now, the tennis racket wielding Jim Cornette. I used to love his checkered suit jackets and things of that nature. His tennis racket. I mean, even today, fast forward today, when Jim Cornette speaks about professional wrestling, I mean, the man is very, very knowledgeable about the industry. More than that, he's very, very passionate about it. I really think that he, had he been, more of the head booker or the head person to come up with the various types of storylines and like this, it would be a vastly different product than what you see nowadays. I always loved the more old classical, over the top characters, of the Macho Man, Randy Savages, then the Hulk Hogan's, and you had singles matches, you had tag team matches. I mean, Legion of Doom. I mean, they were the most outlandish tag team. Come out there with these football shoulder pads, spikes on a face paint, stuff like this. I mean, they were just, there was, as I always refer to professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is a 3-ring circus with a side freak show. So you have giants, and you've got midgets, and you got ladies matches, and again you got singles and tag teams, and all these various novelty type matches that handicap matches that takes place. So there's something in it for everyone, but I always like that over the top characters. You had the Iron Sheik, and you got Sergeant Slaughter, and professionals during that time era was very in tune as to what was happening in the news and capitalizing on that and trying to bring that in different types of characters into the industries, to whether you wanted to cheer that person or boo that person.
Exactly. Incorporating pop culture, incorporating the news, incorporating daily life into professional wrestling, and taking daily life and making it into a drama, into a soap opera. Actually, you mentioned the tag team thing. That was what I was referring to. Was like at that time when they tried to make you do such a crazy thing, with the mark and all. there was a team with Bradshaw and Farouk, and I always thought that you would have been a good fit with them because it just, I mean, all three of you were kind of bigger, stronger guys. JBL and Ron Simmons or Farouk. That was that's what I was going for earlier when I was saying about you teaming with the Acolytes or the APA, to say we're later known, is I always thought that would have been a better way or better use of you than, like you said, marking your forehead and just trying to brandish you for life. That just never made much sense when I've heard the stories from others.
Right. When that was the issue, I think, gosh, if I do this, and then, my contract expires, and I'm never brought back again, that'll be the last that people ever think of Dan Severn. Like, Dan Severn has lost his mind. He's running around, he's got 666 on his forehead. He's being wackadoo, and I go, I've worked too hard to have the reputation that I have. And again, that's why I get off into another tangent. I talk about the cell phone. I talk to these young wrestlers. I talk the same way I talk to almost any young person. Be careful of that cell phone. A moment of indiscretion, a lifetime on the internet. I mean, I'm glad that the cell phone was around when I was a whole lot younger. But because I think we all do certain things in our lives that it's got to go, well, that wasn't really one of my more prominent moments at that point then, but it's got to go, people that have to think pretty good in order to find some of that stuff out. But anymore, people, some of the pictures that they take and they send them out, it's kind of like, and all of a sudden they're like being shared left and right. I mean, we look at all the different sex tapes alone that have got people in the hot water. Like going, well, maybe it's just best if you not make one of those.
Yeah, it is unbelievable that people, make them and then they think, oh, no one's going to see this. How did you think no one was going to see that? Shoot, nowadays, it's like you said, it seems like everything gets out at some point.
Yep. I know it's not meant to, but it just sometimes it's best not to ever shoot that in the first place, because it's kind of like even your own, what could be for your own public library. You go, well, eventually you die, and someone might find yourself up, and then they go, wow, what a wackadoo this person really was.
Before I let you go, could you touch on your website a little bit and tell us about that some?
Well, yeah. I mean, the best way anyone who wishes to get a hold of me or wants to bring me in for speaking engagements, appearances, autograph signings, teaching seminars, my website is simply my name, DanSevern.com. www.dansevern.com. Severn is spelled S-E-D like Victor, E-R-N like Nancy. DanSevern.com. It has all my other social medias listed there, and my email address and things of that nature. And I'm a better at responding to emails at first, and as long as you're not some crazy person, more likely I'll give you like an office number or something like that to get a hold of me, and then we can kind of go from there. But rest assured, even though I'm a 60-year-old guy at this point in time, am I going to retire? No, I will leave different industries just because of age. It's I was trying to get like I said, one last MMA match, and it turns out that my MMA career basically ceased at 58 years of age, and I was supposed to be doing something even as more recently as just a couple of years back, but that match never materialized. But it's kind of going, well, move on with life. I am a little bit mad about that because I wasted 4 months of my life in preparation, because I thought, well, if this was the last chance people were ever going to see a Dan Severn, I was going to put out the best Dan Severn product I possibly could put out.
Yeah, that was the match that was supposed to happen between you and Shamrock, and then he had that injury that we have air quotes going on.
Yeah,
and,
well,
then it was
you can call it the injury, but the sheer fact is he already had an agreement to do a show before ever doing this match with Waste Gracie, and it's not even worth discussing at this point, but he did not do counter things that out, and then then he gets because of all this, he ends up getting hurt, and then match that should have took place never takes place. More than anything, just like I said, I wasted 4 months of my life where I could have been out doing the seminar, speaking engagements, and making a whole lot more capital for myself than waiting on this. And that was actually a chance for a huge payday for a night's worth of work there as well. I mean, my MMA career, my professional career, these, when I jumped into them, they're like my MMA career. I only was looking to do one event because I didn't know how one event was going to go. So I thought, well, let me just try this once. Well, once went okay. Well, let's try it again. Well, from 1 year to 5 years to 10 to basically in my final couple of years, it's kind of going, I'm older than most of my opponents' fathers. I think I better be looking to get an exit stage right. And I could even see already that I was slowing down because my mind is like going move, move, move. But by the time the wire went from my mind to my body's saying, okay, well, that's not a good combination. So, like I said, the fact that of having the vast number of matches I have, you can still have an intellectual conversation there with me. Now being involved in the CBD world, what CBD has already shown to do as benefits to PTSD type of elements, being hit in the head, both WADA and USADA, as of January 1st of this year, gave the thumbs up to CBD use for all combat sports. So boxing, kickboxing, mixed martial arts, it is okay for these athletes. There's a lot of athletes probably don't realize that it's okay to use CBD. Just make sure that you get a good product, because not all products are created equal. Again, there is different types of base type of stuff, so know what you're taking. And again, that's what I said before, and I'll say it one more time. It's a website. You can go to my website at dansevern.com. You can personal message me if you want to find out more information about it. And go to that www.level5customprocessing.com. Again, that's just for educational purposes. You can't order nothing off that. It lists all the various ailments or diseases and the various studies that have been made, not by us, by other people, other medical firms and groups that made these surveys, these testings, and the results that they have come up. It's not us that do this. We're just gatherers of information, trying to inform the public that this is not the that spoke up and throw on our tie-dye shirts and sunglasses and go, hey, dude, no, it's none of that aspect whatsoever. It's CBD oil does a lot of different good things for the body, and I really do believe that it'll be out there as one of these wonder drugs of making so many vast improvements as it gets paired with other items to make it even that much better for delivery systems, or more than what it can do than what it is currently doing. So I don't know. I'm babbling here just a little bit there, James, but it's all about the education.
Exactly.
Education. If you're hurting and stuff like this, I can just simply tell you that it's good for just general overall information, and you will have better night's sleep. So I don't care if you're doing the tincture of the drops underneath the tongue, or if you're simply taking the balm itself and doing topical applications. Either way, it's good. It's good delivery systems, and anyone that I've had the association with of utilizing the products, nothing but positive results have come from it. So more products will be coming out on the market. And we're working with a couple of veterinarians right now, and we'll be coming up with more. And this is not even our official public announcement on this. This is just hearsay of you ask me a question, and I'm just simply just divulging. Just know that Dan Severn will not be sitting in a rocking chair anytime soon. I like what I do, and I continue to make a difference in this world. And the difference I hope I'm making, well, I know that I'm making a positive difference
Sounds great, Dan. Thank you for being on the show again today.
James, thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Have a good one.